Hi everyone! In this video, I will explain what metacognition is and how to use several strategies to promote metacognition in the classroom. We often teach students what to think and not how to think. It is important for students to know how to use metacognitive strategies and take control of their learning instead of spoon-feeding them massive amounts of information. With improved comprehension and understanding, students become confident and independent learners. Metacognition is thinking about thinking. The purpose of metacognition is to help students become independent and better learners through better thinking. When students use metacognitive strategies, they will be more aware of what they already know or don't know, understand what they will need to know in order to complete the task, and have an idea on how to use their current skills to learn what they don't know. First, students must access their prior knowledge. Metacognitive knowledge has three components. The first one are personal variables. This is what one recognizes about his or her own strengths and weaknesses in learning and processing information. Task variables are what one knows or can figure out about the nature of a task and the processing demands required to complete the task. And strategy variables are the strategies a person has at the ready to complete in a flexible way to successfully accomplish a task. Metacognitive regulation is the next step and also has three components. During the planning phase, students should ask themselves, what am I supposed to learn? What prior knowledge will help me with this task? What should I do first? What should I look for in this reading? How much time do I have to complete this? And in what direction do I want my thinking to take me? During the monitoring phase, students should ask themselves, how am I doing? Am I on the right track? How should I proceed? What information is important to remember? Should I move in a different direction? Should I adjust the pace because of the difficulty? And what can I do if I do not understand? During the last phase, the evaluation phase, students should ask themselves, how well did I do? What did I learn? Did I get the results I expected? What could I have done differently? Can I apply this way of thinking to other problems or situations? Do I need to go back through the task to fill any gaps in understanding? And how might I apply this line of thinking to other problems? According to DePaul University, activities that promote metacognition help students identify what they already know, articulate what they have learned, communicate effectively, set goals and monitor progress, evaluate and revise their own work, and use learning strategies. In the next few slides, I will show you some activities that you can use to promote metacognition. The first one is a fishbowl activity. It's a method for structuring a group participation that encourages peer-to-peer dialogue and active listening. This is good for facilitating equal class participation and ensuring that every student contributes to the discussion. So, how to use this activity? You will need to arrange the space into a smaller inner circle of 3 to 4 chairs and a larger outer circle with the remaining chairs. The facilitator poses an initial question, and those in the inner circle discuss the question among themselves, while all others in the outer circle listen attentively. Participants in the inner circle may choose to leave, at which point anyone in the outer circle is free to take the empty seat in the inner circle and join the conversation. A Jumpstart Journal is a routine writing activity that takes place at the start of each class meeting or discussion. Incorporating reflection into every class, giving students time to collect their thoughts, it facilitates equal participation, prepares students for debriefing after an experience, articulates goals, and makes connections to course readings. So how to do this? You will need to ask students to bring a journal or a notebook with them to every class. At the start of each class or discussion, pose a question and give them 5 minutes to write down their response. I also recommend using the thinking stems I'm displaying right now to help them with their writing. You might ask them, what are your goals for today's activity? Or how did today's readings change or expand the way you think? The students' prepared responses can be used to jumpstart a discussion or the next activity. The next activity is called What, So What, and Now What. This is a method for sequencing reflective thinking that moves from description to analysis to action. It can take the form of an in-class writing assignment, discussion, or creative project, which can be made from a storyboard, comic, or into a poster. This is good for debriefing after an experience, articulating goals, and developing strategies for achieving these goals. You begin by asking students to describe an experience, such as an excursion, a class discussion, or a personal life event. What happened? What did you do? Next, ask them to analyze the experience. Why does it matter to you? To the students, to the residents of New York. How is it significant within the context of the class? Finally, ask students to take action. What have you learned and what will you do differently? The last activity is a quick end-of-class activity that asks participants to reflect on what they've learned that day and to plan how they will act on that learning. This is good for debriefing after an experience, articulating goals, and developing strategies for achieving these goals. So you provide each student with an index card. On one side, have them identify a key idea or concept they have learned that day. On the reverse side, ask them to identify a next step. For example, how they plan to implement what they have learned into a project or a future course. For additional activities, you can visit this website. When you are teaching reading, you will teach learners how to ask questions during reading and model think-alouds. Ask learners questions during read-alouds and teach them to monitor their reading by constantly asking themselves if they understand what the text is about. You can also teach students to take notes or highlight important ideas, asking themselves, why is this a key phrase to highlight? Or why am I not highlighting this? For writing, you can model pre-writing strategies for organizing thoughts, such as brainstorming ideas, using a word web, or using a graphic organizer to put these ideas into paragraphs, with the main idea at top and supporting details below it. Thank you.